Hello, good evening, and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, GWEL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and indeed the latest kid on the blog, Phoenix Insurance. The show is proudly powered by the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority-GPHA. Tonight we are streaming live on our social media pages. On Facebook, we are streaming live at Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are live at Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we are streaming live at Iron Port. Indeed, we shall be getting interactive with you along the line. And so all you have to do is send us your messages and comments via our dedicated WhatsApp line, which is 0559-019-177. 0559-019-177. And at the appropriate time, when the time is right, and I pick signals from the production team, we shall activate our phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. My name is Kennedy Mona. We're going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the show. Please stay with us.
Every now and again, GOIL makes good things happen. This time, GOIL has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with GOIL Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. GOIL has that sorted. GOIL, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the flood have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance. Oh, Ajima, tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, so you're welcome back. It's now time for us to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. And indeed, in the course of the week, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority launched a crackdown on the importers and agents. Let's take a look at this story and more.
The fire and safety manager at the port of Tema, Edward Heyman, has encouraged all workers within the Tema port enclave to adhere to all safety standards and practices prescribed by his outfit to ensure their lives and properties within the port are secure. The port fire and safety manager made this appeal following the celebration of the International Firefighters Day.
We also want the port community to cooperate with us. The trainings that we come to do, come to them and do, we expect them to take it much seriously. Saving life doesn't come from only the firefighters, it comes from all of us. That's why we come to them. And we expect that they should do their bit. For us, we will always do our best to ensure that the incident does not start.
The International Firefighters Day, marked each year, commemorates those who have died in the line of duty. The day also marks lifetime service given both by firefighters and by all those who support fire emergency service. Edward Heyman assured the port community that his outfit will continue to be proactive in preventive firefighting at the port to contribute to smooth maritime trade in Ghana.
I think to the port community, I think this is an opportunity that they can just walk to the fire service, find out what we do and other things. Gone are the days that firemen have to sit down and wait for fire. Within the port, we do preventive firefighting. Preventive firefighting means you don't want the fire to start. And it becomes cost effective. When the fire starts, we spend a lot of money, a lot of time and other things, logistics to fight it. But when we do the preventive, the fire does not start. And that is what we are focusing on, and then we are also achieving that aspect. With the firemen, I think it still inspires them to also have the higher morale on the job. They have to have the pride of the work that they are doing. It is the best that they should do. Saving life and property is the best that you can do. It's just like you are just doing the God's work.
The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has sent out a strong caution to unscrupulous agents and importers who engage in a misdescription and under-declaration of cargoes. The division also announced that it will punish and name and shame such individuals. This stern warning came during a press conference by the tax authorities to update the public on a suspected case of misdescription.
Unit has picked some intelligence on paper importers and paper product imports to the extent that they under invoice, they may describe, and also they describe or value the weight that they assign to the paper products. So we've been monitoring them for some time now, and this particular container, we monitored it for about 2.5 months now. So immediately they arrived, we tagged them, and they arrived and passed the BOE. We tagged them, and which means that they cannot clear until they see intelligence, or they should involve intelligence in the clearing of the products.
According to Customs, the suspects, undisclosed, have agreed to meet Customs on Wednesday, May 10, to publicly examine the contents of the container to confirm the suspicions obtained from the scan. When found guilty, the perpetrators will be punished accordingly. The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority cautioned all such persons that they are on their radar, and all appropriate sanctions will be meted on those who try to evade the payment of duties and taxes.
Your question as to what misdescription is it is simply that you are importing A4 sheets, which is a finished product, and it attracts higher duty rate, 20% for instance, but they will enter stationery or some other items that attract 5% or lower rate. So by so doing, they'll be under declaring the duty that they should be paying, and also in some instances they are under declare their weight. You know, so if the container is supposed to be carrying about 18 tons, for instance, they will say 8 tons. So it means that the content is not much, and the duty that will attract only a smaller amount of duty. So these are some of the things we've been doing for a while now. So we just want to send a clear message to the importing public that yes, they are under our radar. We are monitoring them, so they should just do the right thing by declaring the right products and also declare the right rate, so they can pay the right amount of duty. Otherwise, we will come harder on them. So that's our message for them this morning.
All right, so those were happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. We are now going to take some international port and shipping news.
Royal Caribbean Group's Silver Sea Cruises marked the float out of its new cruise ship at the Meyer-Werft shipyard in Papenburg, Germany on April 28. The ship is being billed as the first hybrid luxury cruise ship free of local emissions at port, thanks to incorporating advancements in the propulsion and power plant. Named Silver Nova, the 54,700 gross ton cruise ship is the first ocean-going cruise ship designed for Silver Sea Cruises since the cruise line was acquired by Royal Caribbean Group between 2018 and 2020. It is the first of 2 luxury ships ordered from Meyer-Werft, continuing the industry's focus on expanding the high-end ultra-luxury segment of the business. In the same week that the Silver Nova was floated out in Germany, Fincantieri in Italy delivered both the Viking Saturn and Oceania Cruises Vista, also smaller luxury cruise ships. In a first-of-its-kind initiative headed by the state of California, the 5 major container ports have agreed to work together to launch the California Port Data Partnership. The goal is to jointly advance computerized and cloud-based data interoperability with a common goal of supporting improved freight system resilience, goods movement efficiency, emissions reduction, and economic competitiveness. It is the latest in a series of initiatives launched by California and the US federal government in response to the massive backlogs and supply chain disruptions that developed during the past few years as volumes surged. The California legislature approved $27 million in grant funds as part of the Budget Act of 2022 for the development of a port data system designed to improve the movement of goods throughout the state and fortify the supply chains. The ports in question are Port of Los Angeles, Port of Long Beach, Port of Oakland, Port of Wainami, and Port of San Diego.
All right, so those were some stories from the international shipments scene. We're now going to take our phrase or word of the day. And remember, the phrase or word of the day has been fashioned to bring you up to speed with the terms and jargons we use in the shipping industry. Today's word is gantry crane. Gantry crane.
A gantry crane is a type of crane used to load and unload container ships. It lifts objects with a hoist and can move horizontally on a rail or pair of rails.
All right, so welcome back. We are now zooming into our discussion proper tonight, and tonight we're taking a look at how to ensure a healthy and safe working environment for efficient and smooth port operations. And this topic comes on the back of the fact that on the 28th of April, we woke up to the celebration of World Day for Safety and Health at Work. And that was a creation by the International Labour Organization, ILO, and that decision was taken in 2022 at the International Labour Conference, where it was decided that this particular day should be celebrated across the world to ensure a safe working environment and a healthy one, of course, for workers globally. And indeed, we also followed shortly with that with the May Day celebrations. That was Workers' Day, which was 1st May. And so we have decided that coming on heels of these two celebrations, we will discuss something that is pertinent to our industry, that's the maritime industry. And so tonight we are trying to see how we can ensure a safe and a healthy working environment to ensure smooth and efficient port operations. And we have assembled a team here tonight. We're privileged to introduce to you Dr. Vitus Victor Anabisi, who is General Manager in charge of Health Services at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. He's also the Chairman of the Occupational Health and Safety at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Good evening, sir. Doc, and welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, my brother Ken.
Good to see you. And this year, is this your first time this year?
Yes, it is. Okay, so it's always a pleasure to be here.
Happy New Year, sir.
Thank you very much.
Also in the studios with us, viewers, is Madame Jemima Frances Anabia Tia. Frances Jemima Anabia Tia, who is the ISO representative at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. That's the International Organization for Standardization, ISO. And so these are the two personalities we're going to be having a discussion with tonight. And so I would want to begin with you, Dr. Vitus Victor Anabisi, GM Health Services GPHA. I reckon that when we had this particular celebration, that's the World Day for Safety and Health at Work, you made a presentation, and during that presentation you made mention of the fact that the wealth of the authority, GPHA so to speak, is the health, or the health of the authority is the wealth of the authority. Can you expatiate and throw more light on this particular significant pronouncement that you made on this particular day?
Thank you very much, Ken. This year, World Day for Health and Safety at Work, as you just mentioned, I think the theme of the celebration was a safe and healthy working environment is a fundamental principle and right at work. It's a fundamental principle and right at work. Now, even in GPH's mission, it's indicated clearly that the health of the staff of GPHA is the wealth of the organization. Now, you agree with me that when people are not healthy or when staff are not healthy, productivity levels are very, very low. And so if the health of the people is the wealth of the organization, it goes without saying that, of course, if you're not healthy, you cannot work, you cannot increase productivity, one. Two, if staff are not healthy, what happens is that there's going to be a lot of economic manpower hours lost to the authority, which is a cost to the authority and cost to operations. The company will have to hire extra hands to be able to cover those who are sick, especially who are on long-term sick leave. So all this goes to say that, yes, if the staff are healthy, they will all work, give out their maximum best, and then the authorities' wealth will be protected, or they create more wealth because productivity will be high. And that's why that statement is very key. And I think that it is very wise for the organization to capture that. And indeed, it has been investing a lot. GPHA invests a lot in the health of its staff.
Exactly. That was going to be my next question. Why GPHA seems to have invested so heavily in the health of the staff?
Yes. Why not? If you don't have a healthy workings or workforce or healthy working staff, what it means is that your organization is already at a disadvantage. And so GPHA as one of we know that it's among the top three state-owned organizations, we know that. And so if you are investing in the health of the staff, it means that you are very concerned about your workforce. Now, over the years, for so many years, I can say even about almost 40 years, GPHA has tried to have its own health facilities, which would take care of its core staff and dependents, as well as the general public. In so doing, you know that GPHA does not have staff currently who are on secondment on government payroll. All the health staff are staff of GPHA, meaning that alone is a huge cost to the authority. But the authority is doing that so that the staff and dependents of this authority would have health at their doorstep. If they are sick and people come, if you look at it and our structure, you know that we have a small clinic or health post in the port. When staff are sick and they come there, then they get ready health services. We give them the health services and then they're able to go back to work. Those who need admission, then they will be admitted accordingly. And those who need expert care, they'll be referred accordingly. So GPHA, I think it's a wise decision that the authority took by investing in the health of his people.
Absolutely. Let me come to Madam Frances, and first of all, find out from you. I know the ISO team at GPHA, has been at the forefront of trying to get staff to do the right things, and I've always cited this example that sometimes you're in the office and then randomly you walk in without, notice, and you try to check around and see whether everything is in place, the environment is conducive for operations to go on and all that. I just want to find out from you, why in the first place, let's go back to basics, why in the first place GPHA deemed it necessary to go for ISO certification, that's the International Organization for Standardization's, certification?
All right, thank you. I'd like to say good evening to all your lovely listeners.
And viewers.
And viewers.
Yes.
As I always say, safety is a culture.
Absolutely.
And so World Safety Day, 28th of April, was just a day. But it doesn't stop you from taking care of yourself throughout the period. And so I would say happy World Safety Day to everyone.
Thank you.
To your question, GPHA is one of the gateways to the world, especially when it comes to trade. We interface with people from all walks of life.
Absolutely.
We trade with people in advanced countries. And so it's okay to benchmark our services to a well-recognized international standard authority or a standard body, so that at least we are not saying that we are at the epitome of whatever we are doing, but whatever you see in a sister port somewhere, you are likely to see same in Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. So we want to assure our clients that when it comes to quality of service, when it comes to environmental sustainability, when it comes to the occupational health and safety, we are benchmarking ourselves to give people the assurances that we will take care of them and we'll take care of the environment as well. Yes.
Now, I just want you to walk us through some of the benefits that inures to us, when we say an organization, in this case GPHA, is ISO certified.
Okay, so as I indicated, it gives us competitive advantage. It gives assurance to our clients that they will be taken care of. We also will excuse ourselves from legal issues, especially when it comes to environmental sustainability issues, when it comes to taking care of other people working in the port environment. Can you know that the port environment have a lot of other port operators working with the Port Authority? And so we want to give assurance that they are well taken care of. It also gives us, it builds the authority's image. Like Doug indicated, GPHA is amongst the, let me say, first 3 state-owned enterprises. And I can boldly tell you, we are the first state-owned enterprise to have gotten certified to ISO standard and sustained it till now. We are 10 years in it. It's not a joke. And so it's all about building GPHA, giving us competitive advantage, giving assurance to our clients, and inadvertently we expect it to trickle down into our finances and then confidence when we meet with our sister ports. Yes.
Right, let me come to you, Doc. In your submission earlier, you made mention of the fact that if we have sick workers, that means that automatically productivity is going to go down. I just want to find out from you how a healthy and safe environment can bring about, high productivity and efficient, workforce.
Thank you very much. Let me just take the opportunity to give a simple definition of health that the World Health Organization has given. We know that health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not the mere absence of disease or infirmity. This is the WHO's definition of health.
Right.
And so you see that it encompasses a lot. Physical health, mental health, and social well-being. And this is exactly what the Port Authority is doing.
Right.
We're taking care of the physical health of the staff, taking care of the mental health and the social well-being of staff. And social well-being meaning you have to extend it beyond the worker or the staff. And so we take care of our dependents, and that is what social well-being starts from. If your family is not healthy and you go to work, your mind will not be on the job. You'll be thinking about how you care for your family, your sick wife or sick spouse or sick child and all that. So you have a divided attention. So if you look at it, then that brings us to the issue of occupational health.
Right.
Because health at the workplace is nothing but occupational health. Now, health, as we all know it, they say there are 4 pillars of health. Health is based on 4 main things, which is called the determinants of health. These basically are nutrition, lifestyle, environment, and genetics. These are the 4 things.
Nutrition,
lifestyle, environment, and genetics. These are the 4 things. These are the main things that will determine what health. As for medical care is nothing but a support service. It is when these 4 pillars are broken, then somebody gets sick, and so then you give medical care. So these 4 determinants of health, and then the 5th one is the medical care system or the healthcare system. So if in occupational health, we say that, okay, what is occupational health? By International Labour Organization or WHO definition, they say that occupational health is the promotion and maintenance of the highest degree of physical, mental, and social well-being of workers of all occupations by preventing departures from health, controlling risk, and the adaptation of work to people. Please note that carefully. Not people to work, but you adapt the work to the people. And then the people to their jobs, which is very, very important here. So I want us to dwell on that. So occupational health is what is important for us as an organization. So if you look at it, GPHA has put so many things in place. We've got health facilities. We've got safety at workplace or industrial safety issues. PPEs. And later on, I'm sure we'll talk about it, how the authority provided so much and invested so much in PPEs when it came to COVID time. But constantly, even before COVID, the authority has constantly provided PPEs. Maybe people will ask, what is PPE? Personal protective equipment. Okay? And you know that in the port, we don't joke with that. And there's a whole department, fire and safety, that is in charge of that. So why do they invest in those things, in PPEs? Is to make sure that the worker or the staff is safe and protected at work. To prevent what? Accidents. Okay? If you prevent accident, meaning that you are safeguarding the health of the people. So indirectly, investing in health and safety means that what? You are promoting the health of staff. Promote the health of staff. We already said earlier on that the staff will be healthy, they'll work their heads out, and productivity will be at its highest level. So profitability will do what? Would increase. So that is why the 2 things are interconnected. And so authority, the staff know that when they are sick, they will be taken well care of. It's not they're thinking about where to get money and pay for their medical bill. They don't think about it at all. So they will work and give up their best. And the authority knows that, no, we need to have healthy staff. So for that matter, imagine the whole Department of Health Services being kept by the authority. We have a clinic in Tema, we have a hospital in Takoradi Port, and we have even gone ahead to build the International Maritime Hospital, which is a subsidiary of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. All this to ensure that the health of the staff and its dependents are taken care of. It doesn't mean that these health facilities are for only our staff. No, not at all. It's for our staff and dependents and the general public. After all, we are providing what? Public service to the authority, to Ghana as a nation. And so we should continue to look at things and see how best we can improve on this healthcare delivery, how best we can improve on occupational health to ensure that our staff are safe at work.
Absolutely. All right, so let me come to you, Madam Frances, and find out from you. I just want you to walk us through a typical day in the life of an ISO person. You lead the pack or the
Yes.
team at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority as ISO representative. I just want to find out from you, in other words, what are the things you do on a daily basis?
Okay. So I'm working with 2 other people. However, we work, every department has a set of functional quality managers.
Right.
And then these functional quality managers are headed by focal persons in each port.
Okay.
And so, and the focal, even with
when you say in each port, that means the port
so
of
Tema and Takrady.
Right, sure.
Because we are at the headquarters,
Yes.
we handle the headquarters.
Right.
And the focal leader also has about 5-6 people under him
Yeah.
to help. Now, typically, we have divided these departments amongst ourselves.
Right.
I also have departments I handle from headquarters, Tema Port to Takrady Port.
Right.
And what we do is we go for walkthrough. That's what you indicated,
Yes.
that you'll be there and then we appear.
Absolutely.
So we have our walkthroughs. We don't announce them. The aim is to ensure that whatever we said we will do,
Yeah.
that is by way of implementing the requirements, we are doing them.
Okay.
We also want to ensure that people are helping the authority put things in place to ensure that we are not caught on the wrong side of it. Then after the walkthrough, issues that are identified, we come back and then we have discussions with the HODs. If they weren't at the places where we visited, we call them and then we tell them these were the things we saw, we corrected them, but let's put a corrective action in place to ensure that it doesn't recur. And then once it's resolved and everything is okay, we let it go. But if we go and it recurs, we then meet the management of the department, then we have a discussion.
Right.
But throughout the year, we have lined up activities that we do to ensure the continuous sustenance of the system. So we have our internal audits, we have our external audits, we have our management review meetings where we discuss findings of these audits and walkthroughs. And then we have awareness programs where we go round all the departments to talk to them about ISO. And we don't do it in isolation. We work with the fire safety department. There are times where the health services also perform their awareness programs. If we are invited, we come along and then we also share 1 or 2 information. The training, GPHA's training school also invites us in to give lectures or on awareness of the ISO systems and what is expected of each and every one of us, especially the other interested parties. So typically, this is how our day is always fashioned. Yes.
All right, so I'm just being a bit curious. I just want to find out from you, what do you do to a department that looks quite intransigent, that perhaps each year when you go you find the same, let's say, recurring issues, and steps are not being taken to get them addressed? What do you do to such a department? Are there instances that you've come across such?
Yes, we do, and mostly sometimes it's not that the head of department or the department is recalcitrant. Probably they do not have the strength to correct or to mitigate the situation.
Right.
So when you interact with them and then you find out the root cause of the issue, and then you realize that they do not have what it takes to correct the situation, you escalate it. So there are times where issues that are recurring and just refuse to go away. We have like we had I think last 2 weeks and last 3 weeks we performed a walkthrough.
Right.
What happened was that some departments have some peculiar issues. Auditors have picked up those issues. We realized whatever we put in place as a form of mitigations weren't correcting the situation. So we relied on the OHSC committee chair.
Right.
Fortunately, I'm the secretary.
Right.
So I was able to channel my issues through him.
Okay.
And he was very open to having a walkthrough.
But we are solid. We are a first record with you. To be able to assemble the chairman and secretary of the OHSC.
So we had the walkthrough. He did a marvelous job.
Yeah.
We walked through Tema Port, went to Thakrade, did the same. And these issues, he saw it firsthand. And he was able to assemble the creme de la creme management of GPHA and presented the issues to them. And coincidentally, that day was also the World Safety Day.
28th
yes.
April, okay.
So
Friday.
It was an awakening call to all of us on the issues that are bedeviling our operations and the need for us to wake up and then fight them together.
Absolutely.
And the management were very welcoming. They took some of the issues. Subcommittees were formed. So typically, issues that are seen over and over again with department, we don't just cut them off from the scope. We escalate the issues to where it has to get to, where solutions to those issues would come from. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes.
All right. Let me come to Doc. Just recently, the World Health Organization called an end to COVID-19. And this was a pandemic that ravaged the world, and Ghana had its fair share. And I've had occasion to hear people commend you and your team for the manner in which you handled COVID when it first broke, being the interface from the international community where vessels come in, and all that. You have to go in there and try to do all that you have to do in order that we don't transport or convey the disease into our country. I just wanted to take the opportunity to recount some of the things that you had to do, when this particular pandemic broke and when everybody was running helter-skelter. But you and your team were quite resilient and resolute in your quest to ensure that you stem this particular, pandemic.
Thank you very much. Dear viewers and listeners, if you mention the word COVID-19, I think it sends chills down everyone's spine.
Absolutely.
We know how we woke up one day and we found out that the world was in a different state.
Absolutely, yeah.
And indeed, no country was left out. On the 30th of January 2020, when the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 as a public health emergency of international concern, I think it took everyone by surprise. They thought it was just a joke. They said some people called the Chinese flu and all that, erroneously so. And they thought it was a Chinese disease. They didn't know that it was going to engulf the whole world. And so when these issues came to the fore, GPHA was one of the first organizations in Ghana to respond immediately. We did so because our port is a gateway and it's a port of entry. Now, we started actually sensitization of our staff and all other port users way before the first case was detected in Ghana. That is on record. And all the information we gathered, the documents we produced, sensitization documents, symptoms and signs of COVID and all that, I think most of these things were taken up by the public health authorities in Ghana, the Ghana Health Service, the Ministry of Health, and they built on that.
Right.
And they were able to come out with a lot more. The Port Authority, because we were all taken by surprise, it made available resources. Emergency budgets were readily approved. And honestly, during that period, from 2020 till now, I think it is the finance people who can come out to tell us exactly how much we spent on COVID. I don't know the figure offhand.
That would be
but
colossal.
Anytime, colossal sums of money. But anytime we ask for something concerning COVID, the authority provided. To the extent that people came and they saw us as if we were in a different country, we were in a different world. Because all that we needed, PPE, so far, we were at level 4.
Right.
Level 4 state of readiness to battle this pandemic.
Can you explain what level 4 is like?
Level 4 is when you have the highest highest level of PPEs, protective equipment and clothing that you can use to battle any emergency, to battle any pandemic.
Right.
In terms of your personal protective equipment, and also what? The healthcare facility, its readiness and all that. All combined gives you the level 4.
Yes.
Now, if you look at it, the amount that we spent, we didn't do it in vain.
Yeah.
Thank God, and I want to re-emphasize that, thank God, for this period, we lost not even a single staff of GPHA to COVID-19.
Hallelujah.
I say that to the glory of God. It's just by God's grace that we came. People died. Doctors died. Nurses died. Other healthcare workers died. And other people died. But for us as an authority, not the health services alone, but the entire Port Authority, our staff, nobody died.
Wow.
We only lost one retiree staff and then also a dependent. But staff, nobody, because we were really at it from the beginning. People were calling me Dr. COVID, Dr. COVID. And it was passed, but I didn't mind. I was happy to have that name because being a public health professional, I thought that if something has come to us, something new which we don't know, that's why public health is there. You have to go out there. We instituted a lot of surveillance protocols, and even to date, our municipal health directorate is always referring to the GPHA model. The model in terms of our model of surveillance as far as COVID-19 is concerned. We did this together as a team. You remember that we had a collaboration of what? Port Health. We had a collaboration of our own eye on port. We went so many places. There was no department that we didn't visit. We sensitized everybody. We didn't do it only within the Port Authority. We went outside to all other port stakeholders, even to our neighbors, the Tema Town, the Canoe Basin. We did all that just because a pandemic like that does not know any boundary. So you better tell everybody, let everybody hear about it so that we can protect ourselves. Again, I come back to the fact that the authority put so much into it. And I must say that credit goes to the Director General and his team, his top management team for making these resources available for us to fight this COVID. So on Friday, last Friday, the 5th of May, 2023, when the WHO Director General declared the end to COVID-19, it was such a big relief.
Absolutely.
He said that it was, I'll quote him, he said, the pandemic has been on a downward trend, but the risk of new variants remains. This is according to the Director General. I repeat, the pandemic has been on a downward trend. It doesn't mean it's gone completely, but the risk of new variants has what? Still remains. So we should take this. We should be guided by this. Recently, the last month or two, we had our fair share of hiking of the numbers again. We keep, till date, we still test. When you come and we have cause to suspect that you have COVID, we will test you at our clinic. So I have statistics. I get daily update on how many people have been tested, how many positive we have. But the good news is that those who test positive, their symptoms are mild, and they are managed at home. We don't admit anybody because clinically they present with mild symptoms. But the point is, it is still here with us. Let us beware and let us take care of ourselves accordingly.
Awesome. Yesterday I was, surfing through Facebook and I came across this particular post by MJJ Archives Pictures, and it has a picture of Michael Jackson in 1996, and it says March 18th, 1996, Michael pointing in front of the Paris Hotel, George V in Paris, France, and you saw him wearing a nose mask. And I was surprised. I said, but this man, what was he doing at the time? Did he know of any such thing or something? I was quite amused, and I decided that I would save this particular picture and then show it when we come. It was just a face mask itself that I saw, Michael Jackson wearing. I just want to see if I can zoom it, if you can see it. A face mask, just like the way what we saw. At that time. That was in 19. Absolutely. And that was the explanation the fellow gave. I saw it as weird, but I said, okay, fine, that's what I believe. So
that's very weird, because you just have to wash under running water, not in standing water, and to rinse all of chemicals, and then you're not exposed to any danger. So, and then COVID has taught us a lot of lessons. And you know that even in the Port Authority today, we have posters everywhere prompting people about COVID and what you should do, what you should not do. And the role that our public relations department played, I mean, it was just phenomenal. They helped us anytime we call upon them. They were there, and all that was done to safeguard our staff and then the general public. So a lot of people who were using our port, I think they learned more about COVID through the port. through the port. And so it's been very good. It's a good experience, though the task was daunting.
Absolutely.
And but we were up to the challenge. By God's grace, we braved it, and here we are today, and sitting here and talking about it.
Kudos to you and your team.
Thank you.
Let me come to you, Madam Frances, and I just want to find out from you. You made mention earlier in your submission that we've been signed on to the ISO for the past 10 years.
Yes.
Would you say there have been some changes emanating from our certification, from the ISO?
When we started in the early 2010 with documenting processes which weren't in place, even if they were there, they were in individual heads.
Right.
Sometimes someone would probably write something and then think that he or she generated it himself or herself to aid work process, so it's hers or his.
Okay.
So he puts it in the drawer and then all that. But with ISO, we have documented information when it comes to our internal business processes. Safety awareness has improved. Now, it's not to brag, but whenever departments have challenges getting their request through, they channel it through ISO, knowing that management will hear, they will listen.
Yes.
It has brought improved awareness when it comes to how we perform our daily activities to ensure that the client's requirement is met and even exceeded. When it comes to environmental sustainability, what we have to do in our small way to ensure that we do not harm the environment. Now we do recycling because the requirement demands us to do so.
Right.
Even though the entire country has challenge, when it comes to recycling facilities, we are still doing it bits and pieces with individual companies, private companies that have taken up that activity.
Right.
When it comes to occupational health and safety, I can tell you that a lot is being done. It is through the ISO certification that the OHSC committee was birthed.
Right.
So when we got certified to the occupational health and safety and then the environmental management system, then the Director General then thought that there was a need to have a powerful team made up of departments that have their activities directly resulting to OHSC issues to be the members of the committee. And so the committee was birthed out of the ISO. So I can say a lot has changed. We are still expecting a lot more to change. We believe that ISO has more to give us if only we embrace it and leave it, not just do the righteousness just to meet the external auditors' requirements, but leave it as being part of us.
Absolutely.
We would enjoy more from it. Yes.
Great. All right, so let me come to Doc. And I've been to the clinic, and I see some subtle, developments going on there. I think I can point out to the expansion works there. I see a giant structure, being erected there. And I also understand that you are going paperless at the moment. Yes, I think when I visit the doctor, I tell him what my problem is, then he takes it down. And then, when you get to the OPD, they transmit it through there. You go in there, the doctor already knows what complaint you've lodged. And then once you tell the doctor whatever it is that is wrong with you, then he also does his prescription and tells you go to the pharmacy, and then you go there and everything is there. That's an indication that you've gone paperless. Can you walk us through some of the changes that that is happening at the clinic over there in Tema?
Thank you very much, Ken. In life, one has to strive to improve each day of your life. It should not remain stagnant, no matter where you find yourself. And so I joined GPHA, or Ports and Harbours Authority, in September 2001. So I'm 22 years in this authority.
Wow.
What I came and met, maybe you haven't seen it because you joined recently.
Absolutely.
Things have changed.
Yes.
So we just thank God for that.
Yeah.
And so, and also, if you join an organization, don't leave it the same, especially if you are given the opportunity to head the organization or to manage affairs, you shouldn't leave it the same.
Right.
Make sure at least a little bit of improvement comes, and then let others come and build on that.
Right.
Our forerunners, they did their bit, we also have to do something.
Sure.
And so, with a paperless system, is simply called what? Electronic medical records.
Right.
That's what it's called all across the world. In this day and age of IT, we cannot be left behind.
Yeah.
Even in the public sector, health sector, they have gone paperless.
Yeah.
So how much more private facility or quasi-government facility like GPHA, we can even do it better.
Absolutely.
Because we have some resources, we are more resourced or better resourced than the public health sector.
Yeah.
So electronic medical records is the way to go.
Right.
So you come, you walk in, you don't need to bring any card.
Yeah.
You just give, if you know your staff number,
yeah.
whatever, you give it to the records people. They key it in, every information about you pops up.
Yeah.
And then they tell, okay, you just go to the nurses. So they will feed the information to the nurses station. The nurses, they will call you once they see it on their computer.
Yeah.
They will call. You come in, they take your vital signs, that's your blood pressure, your temperature, your sugar, and all that. They do that.
Yeah.
And then they will divide the patients to the various consulting rooms. They will assign you to the various consulting rooms. And then the doctor also, you don't walk in there with any folder anymore. The records will not give you any card or folder to go with. It's all, like I say, paperless. You go in, the doctor attends to you. The nurses would have captured your sickness, your history of your complaints.
Right.
They will capture that. The doctors will build on that, do further questioning, do their physical examination, and if there need be, they will request for laboratory examination. If
Right.
there's a need for laboratory examination to be done, they also send electronic information to the lab, and just say, okay, you go to the lab. By the time you get to the lab, your information is there. They will do the various labs. Then the lab will send the result back to the doctor electronically. So the patient comes back, and the doctor looks at the lab, reviews it, and concludes his diagnosis, and then gives medication also via the same method to the pharmacy. You walk to the pharmacy, you pick your medication, and there out you go.
Right.
Without touching any piece of paper. We know that this saves a lot of time. Initially, you see a lot of headaches here and there. We are still perfecting the system. So I would like to employ every staff to be patient when they come there, because we think we're building on this system, and when we get to the highest level, they will enjoy it better. So it will reduce waiting time, patient waiting time. It will also reduce resources, the use of resources. When we're using paper, so much paper, we know the volumes of folders and material that the printing department was printing for us. Prescription parts, X-ray request forms, and all those things, and even the folders themselves.
Right.
Our folders were in the form of booklets,
Right.
not like other facilities where they use full paper, A4 sheets. We were using booklets like exercise books.
Right.
So that was huge cost to the authority. Now all those things are what?
We phased out, yeah.
Even phased out. So it is a very good method, and it's a very good system that we should improve, we should try and enhance to make sure that we expand it to other areas.
Right.
Now, coming to the infrastructure you've seen at the clinic going on, yes, there's infrastructure development going on, but people, unfortunately, some top management people give a very bad impression as if Dr. Nab is trying to develop another hospital when we have an International Maritime Hospital. It's an erroneous impression. That building that you see is a new pharmacy block, a new records block,
Right.
new administration block, and other offices.
Yeah.
It is not, it's not a ward.
Wards, yeah,
They are not wards,
Yeah.
as people think. So I think I will use this medium to let people know that they are not wards. We are not challenging, we are not rivaling International Maritime Hospital, because that is our own facility.
Yeah.
We feed them with patients.
Yes.
About 95% of their referrals come from us.
Yes.
So why would we be rivaling them?
Yeah.
I think people should get to know this and take it, from me, that we are not building a new hospital, a new clinic, as other managers will be go around saying erroneously. They don't really care to come and ask and know the details.
Yeah.
So we are just making hands. I came and made that place. There were 2 40-footer containers put together. As a pharmacy and a records.
Right.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, GPHA, the status, and I mean, it didn't befit our status.
Absolutely.
So if that project is coming on, it is only beautiful, it's only nice to also motivate staff to work in a better work environment. Why would we be talking about safety at work or occupational health and safety when we are tied up in containers? where there is no aeration, there's no good aeration, there's a lot of mold there because folders were put there and people were breathing in mold and all that, which was affecting their health. There was no enough aeration, so airflow was restricted. Even people sitting there, it was very bad. So if we're improving on health and safety or occupational health, this is part of the improvement of occupational health.
Okay, that's the structure there.
Yeah, that's the structure you can see. So when it is gone, that container you're saying is a temporary pharmacy, that's a temporary pharmacy, all that will be removed, and they all move into this block.
Right.
So you have good pharmacy, modern medical records department, or we call it health information. And then all other offices. Why shouldn't workers, healthcare workers of our department, why shouldn't they work in a good environment? Are we supposed to remain in containers like we are chickens or goats? No, not at all. We are human beings and we are staff of GPHA.
Absolutely.
And so if GPHA is improving on the work environment of its staff, it does not have to, GPHA should not forget about health services.
Absolutely.
And so the authority has seen it wise to improve on this. So people should stop thinking otherwise and please be happy for development. People should be happy for development instead of speaking negative things and all that. So I thank you for highlighting that, and I think that it's important we know that. And when we are working in such a very good work environment, people are happier, and that will impact on the quality of healthcare they give. Because you will not be begrudging, and I can't do this. No, people will work freely and they'll be happy with their work environment. Patients will experience that work environment as well. So that's what we're doing, and we just only hope that work would move faster than it is. It's been going at a snail pace. It should move faster than it is now so that we can begin to enjoy that facility. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Doc. Thank you. This is I Import here on Metropolitan Television, and tonight we are taking a look at how to ensure safe and healthy working environment for efficient port operations. And with us in the studios, Dr. Vitus Victor Anabisi, who is GM Health Services at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and also Chairman of the Occupational Health, Safety and Environment Committee. And also in the studios, Madam Frances Jemima Anabiatia, who is the ISO representative at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA. They are those we are doing a discussion with tonight. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with the discussion. Please do stay with us.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goil Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goil Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the IC, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance. Oh, Ajima, tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the project, and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, so welcome back. We are moving straight once again into the discussion, and this time around I'm coming to you, Madame Frances, to find out from you what the port in Ghana can do, as the port of Tema and Takoradi, to remain ISO certified.
All we have
don't derail the process, the progress we've made so far.
All right, thank you. All we have to do is to stay compliant with the requirements of the ISO certifications we have implemented. We have to avail ourselves to partake in activities to ensure continual sustenance of the systems. We also have to, on our own, in our various departments, do the little things that we can to support the entire management of the system. We have to continually review and improve our internal business processes, document them, provide trainings to our staff using these improved internal business processes documented. We also have to usher in our service personnel and then our contract staff, our attachment students that come for attachment programs. We have to usher them in properly by giving them orientations so that it will minimize errors when processing requirements of our customers, to minimize incidents and accidents, and then it will also improve the general image of the authority. That's what we all have to do.
In very simple terms, can you give us details about the various certifications that we have?
Okay.
In very simple terms.
Okay. So in 2013, GPHA got certified to 9001. That's a quality management system, but then it was 2008 version. Fast forward, and it was limited to only 8 departments in Tema Port. Fast forward, in 2015, we expanded the scope to include environmental management system, which is 14,001, and OSHAS then. And then we also expanded the geographical scope to include Takoradi Port and then the headquarters. And then when OSHAS phased out, ISO brought its own occupational health and safety standard, which is the 45,001, 2018. We moved to that standard. We integrated all these 3 standards and managed as an integrated management system. Last year, we got certified to 27,001, which is Information Security Management System for only the headquarters.
Right.
The reason being that our IT management system is centralized. So the information nodes, which the 27,001 seems to manage, is centralized at the headquarters.
Right.
And so now we are certified to 4 standards, 3 across the entire authority, and then 1 to only the headquarters. Yes, please.
Okay, awesome. So let me come to Dr. Nab and find out from you what your role is. You were recently inaugurated as chairman of the Occupational Health, Safety and Environment Committee, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Tell us about it.
Thank you very much, Ken. Thank you, my august viewers and listeners. I want to add something a little bit to what Francis said before I answer your question. Like, if you look at the achievements from implementing ISO in GPHA,
right?
Maybe specifically ISO 45001, which you just mentioned.
Yes.
I'll mention them just briefly. There's now continuous quality improvement of GPHA organizational health and safety culture. 2, there's a more focused GPHA workforce with good knowledge of the management systems.
Right.
3, there's decrease in issues with regulatory compliance. 4, there's been reduction in the overall cost of incidents. Incidents lead to what? Accidents.
Absolutely.
And near misses, isn't it?
Yes.
Then there's also reduction in the cost of insurance premiums. We all know that if you get, the more accidents you get, the higher your insurance premium. There's also a better process conformity. People conform to processes better now,
right?
Since the implementation of ISO.
Right.
Then the last one is there's a common understanding of occupational health and safety outcomes by staff in all departments, in all the ports, or in both ports. So now coming back to your question, yes, Mr. Gavin Amavi is the immediate chairman.
I can see the various certifications.
Right. Okay.
There on the screen.
That's nice. So Mr. Gavin Amavi is the immediate past chairman of this committee, the Occupational Health and Safety and Environment Committee.
Okay.
And he did a lot of work, and we need to applaud him for the hard decisions he took and how he drove this committee.
Yeah.
And I've been working with him since 2017 when the committee was formed.
Okay.
And so he has bowed out. He's now on pension or retirement.
Yes, retirement, yeah.
And we can only say kudos to him for what he has started.
Yeah.
So we have to take this work to the next level from where he left. His shoes are big, but we're trying to fill in his shoes. And so being a chairman of such a committee is a strong 13-member committee. 13 members. And most of them are general managers of the authority.
Right.
And general managers, we all know the role they play in the authority.
Absolutely.
They are the gatekeepers. They are the field people. They have to deliver the goods to management, to the directors, and then to the director general. And so to chair such a committee, also, I'm a general manager myself, but with so many other general managers on the committee, it's not an easy task. You need their support all the time. And at our level, in a way, it's good because at least we understand our own language and then we can derive things.
Right.
The various departments involved. If a general manager gives directive down, it has to flow down.
Right.
But we are not lording it over the staff. We want the involvement of staff.
Absolutely.
So we use a bottom-up approach that from down below, if students... if staff and other people see certain things, they should not hesitate. They should bring it to the knowledge of the heads of department who push it up to the committee. Like Frances said, ISO indirectly is a police in the authority, indirectly. And so to chair this big committee or this strong committee, I feel it's a privilege for me to contribute my quota to the development of the authority. And recently, we did the walkthrough in both ports, and a lot of things came to light. We are currently tackling them, and top management has taken up this issue seriously, and I'm sure in the next few months down the line, there will be changes. There will be issues. The people will see that there will be a lot of solutions to these problems.
Right.
They're not easy. A lot of them involve so much money. But if you don't spend, you not get your house in order.
Absolutely.
The Port Authority, the mandate is to build and maintain ports.
Ports, yeah.
That's our primary mandate. So if you build a port and you're not maintaining it, you are not performing that function. You're not performing that function. So because of that, management has taken this issue seriously. And I thank God that my fellow general managers and other members of the committee are taking everything seriously. And we're working together as a team to ensure that we achieve our aim.
Right.
Because like Francis said, all the areas that contribute or are being affected directly by occupational health and safety matters are being represented on this committee.
Right.
So if we sit down to discuss, why not? We should be able to find solutions to this.
Absolutely.
And people are working hard.
Right.
So being a chairman, I think I'm happy to chair the committee because people are working and contributing and making sure that everything moves forward. I'm not doing it alone. It's not a one-man show. It's a teamwork.
Absolutely.
So we want to take the opportunity to tell other staff of the authority that, look, when the committee comes to you, or when we send messages or mails to you, please don't see it as we are trying to put somebody on the spot. No, we are trying to improve so that day in, day out, all the stakeholders of the port, they would have good things to say about the Port Authority and not to go out there with negative stories and all sort of issues.
Right.
So basically, I think that I'm happy to chair and I hope to get all the support that I need.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Madam Secretary, do you have anything to add to what your chairman just said?
Yes. As Doc indicated, the committee can do it alone. The committee needs input for the committee to start to work, for us all to benefit the output. And so when the committee comes to you, it is not a matter of disgracing you or putting
calling you out.
Exactly. The committee wants to bring improvement. The committee wants to leave its purpose. And so please collaborate with us. Whatever you see that you think should be addressed, willingly come to us.
Absolutely.
I always say we are not octopuses and we cannot be everywhere at one time. So maybe you have identified issues. Please send to us, and then we have these WhatsApp platforms, and trust me, members on those platforms, as the functional quality managers, when they see something which is out of the normal, they take pictures and then they send to that platform, or they send to me, and then I quickly put it on the OHSC committee platform, and trust me, actions
expeditiously,
yes, and it brings the beauty of the essence of the committee.
Right.
So we encourage everybody to come on board.
Awesome. All right. So I also want to find out from you how staff or workers, so to speak, can make safety a lifestyle.
Yes. It's difficult. Very difficult. Especially in times where peer pressure seems to be on the rise, especially in the maritime industry and even especially in the era of the social media, people putting proven ways and all that. Please, all I always say is that you owe it to your family, especially those that depend on you, to do the right thing. Even if you don't like yourself, remember that there are people that depend on you for survival. So when you misbehave and then the unfortunate thing happens to you, you have caused so many other people and their source of livelihood. I would encourage that, please, whatever instructions, guidelines that are put out there at the work environment, please obey.
Right.
When you are given PPEs to wear during your work performance, please wear them. Don't put them down, and when you see us, you run to go and pick them. When the health services open the opportunity for you to come and then test for some of these non-communicable diseases, please go.
Right.
Because when they are able to timely detect them, that you can be saved. And please, your work environment is your work environment. It's not a playing ground.
Absolutely.
Perform your job and then go out back to your family. I will encourage every staff as well We know sometimes we are under the pressure to overperform just to impress our leaders, our management staff, indulging in drugs, illicit drugs, to gain the energy to outperform yourself is not the right way. That is why in the wisdom of management, we have breaks.
Yes.
We have some other arrangements to relieve you. The shift system is one of such. Please, let's take advantage of them. If you will get money, you will get money. You don't have to die in the process of getting the money.
Absolutely.
Then it is useless.
Awesome.
So let's all come together and be each other's keeper. Please, you can report an unhealthy behavior of a staff so that we save the staff and the dependence of the staff.
Absolutely. Right.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so let's do some messages now. This one says, my name is Fred Aoche from 22. I am a clearing agent, and I have always admired how the health services are conducted at GPHA clinic. Anytime I'm there, the nurses are kind and pay attention to my every need. Kudos. Okay, this one says, can our ISO rep for GPHA tell us more about information security management system and what the objectives are for that? My name is Mama Atanga in Takrade.
Okay, so the information security management system, as I earlier on indicated, takes care of the information nodes of the authority. When I say information nodes, where we generate the information and save the information and use the information. And so the aim of the information security management system is to ensure confidentiality in our data. The integrity of the data we generate has to be our priority. And the accessibility. Wherever we are and we need that data to make informed decisions, we should access it in whole, not bits and pieces. So the information security management system has a lot of benefits for us, but the key ones are the confidentiality, the credibility, the integrity, and then the accessibility of it. Yes. Yes. And it's to protect our information from the unscrupulous people. You know, they say data is now wealth.
Absolutely.
And trust me, if an unscrupulous person gets your data, you would regret it.
Absolutely.
We are all aware, I think 2-3 years ago, MEX was attacked. And I think their Nigerian counterparts actually saved the day. So we are trying, you also know that the maritime industry has all of a sudden become the target. And so we are jealously guarding our information so that we don't fall in the hands of these people. We get the number, I was talking with last Friday, we had the management review meeting for the ISO 27001, and the information we gathered was that in a day, the number of phishing emails that are sent to us, you can't imagine. So it means that they are having sleepless nights to access our information, and so we also have to put in tight measures to protect it as well.
Absolutely. Right. This one says the port can be very volatile and the port can be a very volatile and hazardous place. That's why globally safety is king at ports. I like that Ghana ports are demonstrating seriousness in safety, and that's the way to go. This is from Kingsley, United Kingdom. This one says, good delivery by our GPHA people. Safety and health are paramount at the workplace. It's from Sharif in Tema. And this one says, good evening. I am a safety professional myself, and I must commend your guests for their good job. Allow me to also make known to them that I am currently looking for a job and would be glad if there are any vacant opportunities available at the port. Well, he's putting in the job application. That's a sharp one.
A smart way,
I'm telling you. Anyway, all right. So we have barely 2 minutes to go, and so let me come to Doc and find out from you the kind of advice you have for staff of the authority and all who work within the port environment. Just 1 minute, and then Then we'll take a bite.
Thank you very much. My dear fellow workers of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and by extension, all Ghanaians, because the port is for Ghana.
Yes.
And we are working for Ghana. But as far as my job description was concerned, I'm within the Port Authority.
Yes.
But by extension, I serve Ghanaians.
Yes.
I want to say that health and safety, for that matter, occupational health and safety,
yes,
it's a very important concept that we should take seriously.
Absolutely.
We cannot close our eyes to the issues on the ground. Wherever there is work, there is a possibility of incidents and accidents.
Yes.
So we must safeguard ourselves. Frances already said it, that we should protect ourselves.
Yeah.
In so doing, we protect our families. Because you are the, maybe you are the breadwinner of the family, so you don't want to cut short your life.
Yeah.
So there are a few things I would like staff of GPHA, and by extension their dependents, and also the public to know that, for instance, early detection and management of both communicable and non-communicable diseases is key in healthcare. I already said earlier on that the 4 determinants of health, they are there.
Yes.
But when those determinants, one is broken, then that's why you have...
Nutrition, lifestyle, environment, and genetics,
Exactly. Genetics, you can't do anything about it, isn't it? So when this, any portion is broken, then healthcare comes in to fix it.
Okay.
Then we should also look at making sure that those who have non-communicable diseases, that is the diabetes, hypertension, asthma, obesity, should come for early review.
Right.
Honor your appointments and come for checkup.
Right.
Maybe checkup is the way they will understand. Follow up and review, you must come.
Okay.
Because the authority is spending so much money to procure the medication for you. So please make use of those medications.
Awesome.
We should also adhere and comply to all health advice given to you when you come to the health facilities.
Okay, sure.
And then avoid unhealthy lifestyles.
Okay.
Like use of illicit drugs, alcohol abuse, and all that.
All right.
And then also the last is, and not the least, make time to laugh, smile all day long.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Doc. Just 5 seconds, because we have time. Yeah, we're constrained for time.
I would like to use this opportunity to thank GPHA, the management of GPHA, for continually supporting the cause of the ISO system and taking safety issues as one of the paramount things in the authority. I'd like to thank all staff for always supporting the cause. No matter how late or how early we come, they are always there to listen. They listen to our advice we give them and they implement. I'd like to thank the former ISO coordinator for, in fact, leading the way, like Doc said, when it comes to the OHSC committee. And also to thank the Iron Pot for seeing safety as a very important subject and topic to treat for a whole session. We thank you. And we hope that it's not ending today.
No, it won't.
If you can make room during your broadcast every Sunday to talk about safety, we will be very happy.
We will do that.
So yes, great.
Thank you very much indeed. Yes. Yeah, we are pressed. Yes. Okay. The Occupational Health, Safety and Environment Committee, GPHA, and indeed Madam Frances Jemima Nabiatia, who is the ISO representative at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Remember, we've been discussing how to ensure an effective how to ensure a healthy and safety environment, working environment for effective and efficient port operations. I would like to say a big thanks to our sponsors, Ghana Revenue Authority, Guelph PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. Remember to watch the abridged version of our Port on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on Ghana Television, and also remember to keep watching the rest of our programs. God willing, next week, Sunday, we shall bounce back with another wonderful edition of the show. Good evening and have a super week ahead. My name is Kennedy Mona. Thanks for watching.